All right. Success. Do it right this time. I don't know why my YouTube is so huge. It's like huge. I don't know how to make it smaller. Does anybody know how to make it smaller? 200%. There we go. This regular old 100% will be good. Alright. Got that silly picture of me up there. And now I don't have permission from Oowk Media, but I consider them my friends. I think they're really amazing people. And I don't think they would mind if I showed a few minutes of their video. Just be sure to go and search out their channel because they work very hard to bring us this information, it looks like. And while they have 76,000 subscribers, I've noticed that their views seem to be somewhat low lately. So where they had 1.5 million views a year ago, now they only have 2.7 views on something from a week ago. 2.7 thousand views. Now, do I have people here? Yay, okay. Hi, Rainbow Angel. Hi, Tammy. Now, I'm hoping that I just had another live stream going and I had like 10 or 15 people that were going to be looking to come join this one. So I'll probably wait a couple of minutes. Oh, no way, Tammy. That's really cool. Thanks. How are you? My neighbor and my sister. You're pretty close by here. Rainbow Angel, thank you for your beautiful comments. It's nice to know that we're not alone. It's good to know that we have like minds all around. Where are you located? Like what area, if you don't mind me asking? Let me figure out what's going on with the resolution because something's weird. I don't really know what I'm doing. I really don't. Hey Violet, oh good, you made it back. San Antonio, right on. I'm originally from Texas. I'm from El Paso. Well, it's saying that I don't have optimal resolution. Where do I find the video resolution? Yeah, Jesus doesn't need a spaceship, but he has a whole bunch anyways. Or I don't even think I said he, I said has a whole bunch anyway. Lots of different plays on words in our society and our conditioning and understanding. Resolution, where's resolution? Controls? No, that is controls. Settings. video. Resolution. It's currently active, so I would have to like start again or something. So we'll see how this goes, and that's all we can do. So what are you guys up to here? Just trying to understand. Yep. Love it. Alright, well I have 6 viewers, so that's cool. I know a couple of you guys wanted to see what we were looking at on the last stream. And we were here at this channel, amazing channel. I guess I could go to my history as well. Now, I don't always agree with everything anywhere, really, because there's a lot of like false credit given to the wrong deities, given to the wrong sphere gods of the planets and different things like that. So I give my input on that. But I have found this channel to be most accurate with what I'm learning to be the truth, the hidden truth. Where's my history? But we will see, we will see. You'll have to forgive the loud noise because I've had people working on the apartments above and surrounding me for the last 6 months. It's been 8 hours a day, non-stop beating on the wall and on the floor. It's been wild. I mean, really. It's been something else. But what can we do? We just continue to go with it. We're heading towards that 1,000 years of peace, and that's what I'm waiting for. I have been told that the wait will be worth it. So that is what I'm waiting for. And, yep. I'm surprised I don't have some more people on here. Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to wait just a minute to see if anybody else shows up. Oh, a couple more popping in. I wonder if I can share it on my community page. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. And thank you for being patient with me. I will show you some cool stuff real quick before I jump off here. I just wanted to finish what we were talking about. Maybe discover a couple more things together. And then carry on with the day. But really, I don't have anywhere I'd rather be than here with other people that want to learn and that, you know, have information, have keys that we can share with each other. There's really nowhere else I'd rather be in the world. I like the name change, Tammy. Very cool. No, There's just no reason. I have really good everything. So I don't know why I have so many issues. And the people that are blocking me left me a message yesterday scolding me, saying that I should have a better setup. But when I do, this is what happens. It doesn't matter what I do. So I don't want to be a complainer, but just know that I'm doing my best, and I don't really understand why any of this is going on the way it is. I really don't. I'm going to let this play through as I wait for some other people. Hi, Chris. Yeah, thank you for being here, Chris. We're all trying to learn, really. And like we were just speaking of, and like he will mention in this video we're going to watch for just a minute, the Western world, which of course we are a part of here, most of us, is just not well versed on any of these things. We've really been made to forget these things and to not search them out. And now when we search them out, it's almost impossible to find the information we're looking for without it have been, marred or twisted or made to fit the current popular agenda. And so that's why we've just got to take it as it comes and trust our heart. That's really all that we have to go on. That's where the truth is anyway. But since we're still getting all of our abilities, like to connect to spirit and channeling or whatever you want to call it, since we're just getting that stuff back online, we really can only rely on our hearts as we find the information. And we can be led to the places that will provide us the information. That's where I've gotten mine so far. I'm just led by spirit. So much more crap. I'm glad that you believe me, Tammy, because I know you were away for a little while and then you came back and you still trusted all the stuff that we trusted together that I learned was a bunch of crap. And then I think now you're to the spot where you realize, yeah, it's a bunch of crap. But it's okay, right? We will prevail. They're just buying time right now, is what they're doing. We'll take a look at this. How I'm describing some of the light beings and some of the objects in the clouds, which they're calling alien tech and nanobots, and they're calling these things all types of different things. It's the sphere alliance being of angels. It is beings with Merkabas. It's sentience, bubbles of sentience, intelligent bubbles of God that are dark matter that we're going to use to create the new world with our consciousness and with our, when two people agree on this is what it was supposed to mean. When two people agree on something, it'll be built here in the new world. It's done. That's why they keep us apart, because they don't want us to build these things together. Hey, what's up? Nice to have you here. Will there be a pole shift? Magnetically, electromagnetically, yes. So we're moving from magnetic to electric. So in that sense, the poles are switching back to electrical. And they were inverted so that the world couldn't grow and expand using dark matter. And that is changing so that we then can create again, so that we can be the electrical creators. That's why we're electrical creators, is because we work with the vortices and the poles when they are electrical and when they are not inverted. So that, yes, is being changed. But we see that like on the instruments, and you see people reporting on that and just saying, I don't know what it is. And I'm like, I'm telling you what it is. I've been telling you. They don't want to hear it from me, and they don't want the truth, and they don't want you to have all of the truth either. No, you're not. And they'll tell you that too now. If you go back and you look at the people that were reporting that Yellowstone will kill the whole world, they'll say, no, actually it won't. It might affect the people immediately around, but it's not going to kill you. If you stand right next to it and invite the lava towards you, but it's not going to, nothing's going to change, you guys. It's only going to improve. It's only going to improve. What we can be sure of is change on Earth, and that we should be movable and ready. But as long as we trust, as long as you trust the higher source, yeah, that is what's changing. We're getting the extra dimensions back that we were cut off from with the false light of Venus. We're getting our connection back to spirit, which we were also it was also taken by the false light of Venus. Our solar plexus was connected to Venus and bound by pentagram style, like that chakra of our being, of our heart, where the creator of us lives, the seed of the creator lives in the solar plexus in our hearts. It was bound up. So it's unbound now, and we're reconnecting to the true universe, the true universal mother, which is Sirius, which is what we see next to our sun, which is what we see next to the golden sun disk, the blue star. That's the blue star Kachina, and she emanates. That's why we can see different things happening all around the world at one time, because it's emanated throughout Earth realm. But yes, it's higher realms being reconnected. I don't have all the answers. These are just like vague kind of understandings. I'm connected to the higher source. Yeah. Connected. And we all are. We're all reconnecting to source. For sure. We all are. I mean, if we choose to. And it is Jesus. So it's the return of Jesus. And that is how Christ consciousness is ultimately happening. But it's more than just Christ consciousness. It's much more than that. So I'm going to play this. But yeah, so we see these beings and we see these clouds, and like we hear about fallen serpents, and then we see like kind of snaky objects in the clouds, and people can be intimidated by that, understandably so. I was at first trying to understand it. I knew in my heart that they weren't negative, but I couldn't understand because of the conditioning and because of just what I have known up until then. Well, my whole life I've been protected by serpentine type elements. I didn't understand it, but now I do. Now I do. I remember a dream I had when I was like in the crib. I remember snakes being completely surrounding the house that I was in. I was on the second story, but somehow I woke up and I looked outside and I saw snakes completely covering the ground, and just like swarming around the house that I was in. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I got back in the crib. Don't ask me how. This is all a dream that I still remember really clearly. I was like 3 years old, 2 years old or something. And like one of my first memories, you know? And I felt really safe and protected. And so now I understand that. Like the Holy Spirit is a serpentine goddess, as I was saying in the last live stream. Yeah, so it's the second sun would be Sirius. Our sun is part of a binary star system, which is Sirius, and as it draws closer, which it has, and that's why we're seeing it's already here, Sirius with its serpentine clouds, that's why I'm speaking about serpentines and the serpentine goddess, and our consciousness rises as that happens. So that's our binary star system. I don't agree with much that channel says. I like what he does. It's more of an alternative thing than most. So, you know, but just always use your heart. It's really cool. But I just like have different information. Yeah, so. Hi, Knights. Hi, King's Knight. Good to see you. Did you email what story to you? Do you have a similar story? No way. That's so cool. I love it. That's really cool. That's really cool. So that's where I'm coming from with the serpentine beings. Now, we know that what I've been explaining is that the fallen angels are here on Earth. So there's so many different channels saying that the fallen angels are coming, and that's what we see up in the clouds. I feel like most people have figured out that's not the case by now. But that doesn't mean that everybody's gone ahead and changed and come out and said, I was wrong. These are actually angels and dark matter that we're going to create with. Like, there's not many that have said that. But that's why it's important that we all understand this, because we are going to be creating with that dark matter. Once you're reconnected to spirit, then you can start to create with another person that's also connected to the great spirit, Jesus. It's no other. And that's why, like last night, I was talking about, if you want to come up into God's mansion, you have to really understand that Jesus is the King of sovereign kings and that Jesus is the creator of this universe. People are going to get sick of me saying this, but this is why I'm here, to explain that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess, because everybody does want to ascend and then become their own sovereign God and go their own way and create their own world and get their own morning star and get to literally create their own universe the way that they want it. That's why we came here. That's why we've gone through the trials and tribulations that we have. So, it's going to be amazing. But I'm going to go ahead and play this, Tammy, no problem. So you can hear this. I'm going to play this for a few minutes, and that's where I'm coming from with this. This is just a little bit more on these entities. The fallen angels are here on Earth, and they are operating. There's, reptilians, there's fallen serpents, there's different things, but there's also the same types of beings that we're going to be seeing coming that are angelic and that are of the Most High. That the Catholic version of these, like the wardrobe in heaven, is purely made up, conjured up, okay, to fool the people and to condemn the people now. And that's what's happening, but I'm here to clear it up for as many people as I can, while I also clear it up for myself and learn.
Real power is not found running off to war. Real power lies in understanding who it is you're truly fighting. And how they can be defeated.
From Atlantis to Lemuria, it is said that from these two continents, serpent people sought ancient knowledge that will help the race of men in its search for spiritual enlightenment. The thing that has to be pointed out is that profound investigation of different ancient civilizations and cultures has proven that the Shining Ones are a global phenomena. It is also understood that this term, or code name, was given to some intelligent creatures that were present all over the world and came to the surface in different periods of history. The figurine of the goddess Ninhursag from Sumeria and repetition of these names is astonishing. When we see them for the first time, they appear in all cultures, although this was sometimes hidden because of wrong translation or because of some hidden agenda. The Anunnaki gods of Sumeria and Babylon, and the gods from Egypt, the Devas from Hindu mythology, the American and European mythical gods also. At first glance they are different, but if we translate all these names, they all mean one thing only, and that is the Shining Ones, or some other form of this word. Elohim are also Shining Ones. Mages in the Bible are all from the land of sunrise, and in the east they are shamans, or the Shining Ones. There is understanding in all religions, coming from priests, pastors, rabbis and witches, that the Shining Ones existed all the time followers of the religions knew of them, even though the Shining Ones acted secluded. One thing we don't know is their intentions, or the fact was they working for right or wrong on the planet. These people were seen as gods. They were adepts, also known by the name of Serpents or Snake People. This is because of the outspread of snakes or snake symbolism all over the world. Today we know about different reptiles or serpent cults, which are spread in the cultures all over the world, had its origin in the knowledge and wisdom of the Shining Ones. Serpent people were called this because of their usage of snakes for healing and researching, for higher states of consciousness. This is because the serpentine shape of the snake could be used as a universal symbol which described hidden processes linked with the body. When scientists that were studying the shamans in the Amazon noticed that these shamans, in the moments of their trance, often saw shining big snakes that talked with them. If they asked them, these snakes would give them deep knowledge. Other scientists that were exploring wide distribution of serpent mythology found that they were called differently in different parts of the world. We can name only a few of them, like the Nagas of India, Quetzalcoatl in Mexico, Djedje in Egypt, the Adders in Britain, or Lung in China. They are mostly all known by one name, Serpents of Wisdom, and they were connected through networks of spiritual adepts all over the land. These adepts were also known under the name of Soul of the Great White Brotherhood. They say that this race of man first appeared in Polar Land. This cold area was on the two major continents which existed in Western Atlantic and Eastern Pacific today, known as Atlantis and Lemuria. Atlantis was, they say, mostly materialistic culture, while Lemuria was spiritualistic. They were an example of the duality that naturally exists in human consciousness and creations. Looking on the world today, this can explain why Western world is so materialistic, while Eastern is mainly spiritual. It is again said that from these two continents, serpent people sold ancient knowledge that will help the race of men in its search for spiritual enlightenment. When their continents started to sink to the bottom of the sea, serpents of wisdom grouped their ancient knowledge and migrated into different parts of the globe. They were greeted by their indigenous people as serpent prophets. Under their leadership, many of the dragon cultures arose. These cultures built gigantic pyramids, serpent motifs, and they were governed by the dragon kings. These cultures of dragons continued to exist for many thousands of years. Starting from 2000 years ago, serpents of wisdom and their dragon cultures founded enemies in the form of Christian churches. Leaders of the new Christian religion condemned old serpent wisdom as heretical and started the initiative to run it out entirely. However, even before this very successful campaign, most of the serpent people kept a low profile in order to keep the ancient knowledge. Later they appeared again and started taking over different religious institutions like Islam, Templars, Freemasons and Rosicrucians. They kept the flame of the serpent wisdom living while inspiring and organising revolutions.
Okay, so
Nobility.
there's so many other really amazing things that I could watch on that channel all day, but I'll ask you to go ahead and go to that channel on your own and do some more research wherever you're drawn, wherever you go. Hi Walt, hi everybody that's come in. It's nice to have you. So anyway, this is where we're at with it. This is really what I wanted to come on and show you, because I couldn't show you. My screen went black, so we just decided to do it the right way. I had a live stream before this where I showed one of my most amazing captures to this day. It was done in February, so just short of a year ago, and it's gone by really fast. It's gone by so quickly. And yeah, we talked about a lot in that first live stream. And I don't know, does anybody have any insights or questions or anything they want to add? Are you understanding how this is possible, that we can have these spirits that are in the Western world? We're made to think that they're evil, And they are used by the occult because they're ancient and the occult understands it. That's the thing. It's truth that's kept from the people. That's what the occult is all about. They are about truth. The thing is that what I have learned is that even the occult doesn't have the full truth. Satan is the father of lies, so Satan's the only one that wants to control. Like, the people at the top would be the ones that I'm saying are Satan. You know, they've become like Satan itself, and they want to control every aspect of everything. And that's why I have such a problem, and I'm so careful about what other channels I recommend or what words I use, because the false light is the most dangerous right now. The ones that are coming on and even preaching love are some of the most dangerous right now. They're some of the most dangerous actors and actresses. They are here to reawaken people's mind's eye into Saturn, which is the mark of the beast, is to have your mind's eye filled with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is artificial, false intelligence of the Saturn matrix, what we've been indoctrinated with. It's like their plan B, okay? It's like what they knew everybody was going to awaken at this time, inevitably, as Sirius the star drew closer to our sun. They knew consciousness was going to rise, because this has happened before, many times before, in fact. And so they had a plan B of information that they were going to give, doctored up, in order to maintain control of the people. They weren't willing to lose control. They don't want it to be 1,000 years of peace with Christ. That's where they were going to have a false Christ. All of that's failed. It's all failed. So there's no worries. At this point, they're just buying time, and we're still going to do the best we can to get them to come around. We are going to see what we can do. I'm going to see about some more of this shown in like Chinese culture. So like he was saying, we see these things all around the world. They're worldwide. They're known everywhere but in the Western world. And when we think of dragons or serpents, we think of, well, I don't, but many think of like Satan. And, oh look, they're asking for money here. Hang on. But we think of evil as what they wanted us to think of. Or even in the Bible, when it talks about the dragon coming and taking over, when you look again very closely, the dragon, there's like 2 different, possibly 3 different dragons spoken of in Scripture, just in Revelations alone. And one of the dragons is the one that we're seeing. Stars, moons, suns, they're all the same type of object, but they're doing different things and they're at different levels, and but they're all ascended alien spirits. They're all angels, angelic alien spirits, however you want to put it. They're not fallen. The fallen ones are here. They also have a sphere. They also have a sphere of existence here. We don't see it though. But they're here, and many of them are working through these people that I'm speaking to you about, that are acting as the false light, acting as the teachers, acting as the deception. So the dragon that was spoken about, that was Satan, that was going to be cast out, those are the actual, that's why they say this is happening in the spirit, not in the flesh and blood. So while it is affecting flesh and blood in many ways, these things are taking place in the spirit. So when I spoke earlier about volcanoes being activated and the sun brightening in order to clear some of these energies out, the Schumann's resonance regulating and having everything even out properly. That is to run some of the darkness off. They don't belong in this universe. They don't belong here. They're not from here. They don't belong here. They just thought this would be a nice home. They're being cast out. They're being cast out now. And so, let's see if I can see what you guys are saying here. Lost History Channel is a great channel. I love what he's got to say. He really is bringing the truth. Oh, are you here? That's so cool. Hey, thank you for stopping in. Yes, I absolutely love your work. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And so we're going to take a look at what they say about the Naga here in Wikipedia. So they speak of them as a divine or a semi-divine race, sometimes half humans, sometimes half serpents, and like we saw in the Oowk media, the Shining Ones video, he was saying that there's some on Earth, and so there are some of us on Earth who have gone through this physical change that we're going to be identifying very closely with the ones above that are here to help us, that are here in the more of the ether, the interdimensional aspects of what's showing up. We're going to be able to identify and communicate telepathically, and we already are doing that. They are part of the big dragon that came down with a third of the stars. That's why we see all these little moons, and like you hear all these channels trying to describe what people are seeing in the clouds as alien tech, or some are saying that it's stellar cores. Others are saying it's space junk. Some are trying to say it's like rocks suspended in the air, in the photon belt. Like, they don't even know how to describe it. But as things draw closer and as our consciousness rises, as the star systems draw closer together, which I'm able to show all day, every day, is that Mercury is orbiting our sun. Mercury is Sirius, okay? So a lot of times these things, just like the gods, and I know that the Lost History Channel could probably attest to this, many times in like mythology or in ancient depictions, we see that one entity has multiple names or multiple, shows up in multiple different forms. So, same thing with the stars, moons, and suns. They're all the same type of object. But, so like Mercury, I'm finding, is actually the same thing as Sirius. And that's why I'm thinking that Betelgeuse, the star, I'm thinking that it's the same thing as Mercury. I'm sorry, as Jupiter. So, Sirius and Mercury, that's how it's a moon and a planet, a star and a planet at the same time. And then it gets really confusing. I should have some sort of like a diagram, but I don't have my work all figured out like that yet. And people get mad because they're like, oh, you're just throwing things out there. You can't do that. Well, yes, I can. And it is truth. And this is lost truth. And it can be verified. I can show you all day. I can show you my proof of it. But nobody has like really approached me and wanted that. But I expect that day to come where I do get to show what I've compiled to somebody that does care enough to record it and to really work through and find the truth with me. I can't wait. That's what I live for. So Betelgeuse, the star, is the same thing as Jupiter. Now stars, moons, suns, they emanate, like through the golden sun disk, for instance, and through the moon. The moon actually emanates this universe, believe it or not. Hard to believe, but it's true. not just this matrix, like this entire universe, the position of the stars and things like that. So, the stars emanate realms. Planetary spheres are realms on Earth. And truly, truly, planetary spheres are realms on Earth. That's how we're experiencing the different realms, but yet we're all able to communicate with each other. We're not separated yet. I believe what's coming eventually is that these realms are going to be separated. There's this, we are a collective consciousness, and we cannot be in harmony together when there is such a divide, but yet we coexist as one, as, all of the realms. We might be experiencing different things, like I believe that I'm experiencing in Jupiter realm. I believe that that is the higher dimension, what's considered the fifth dimension, what's considered God's mansion. And, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of that. We have endless rooms because we are going to be creating. As sovereign gods, we're getting our kingships back, our individual sovereign kingships. We're not going to be cattle for the elite anymore. And that's where they're just buying time. And it's almost like I almost stop myself from saying these things because I'm made to think that I won't have a platform. But, my platform is very much hidden. I've had a lot of prayer, which is why it's opened up to the level that it is now. I've been praying and praying and praying. And I'm able to set intentions, because once you do raise your consciousness into more of the Jupiter realm, you surpass the third dimension and you rise up beyond the dream realm, which is where the fallen serpents operate from. That's why they're behind the veil, because they operate in the dream realm, the fourth dimension. Well, now we've surpassed that with our consciousness. We've risen to the fifth dimension and beyond. And now we are able to influence consciousness as a whole, the collective consciousness, and how things work and how things operate. And we've done that with the help of these higher beings, because that's what time it is. It's just that time. And it is the 1,000-year reign of Christ. It is just beginning. And I think that that's just a starting point for, that's just an established set of time for us to get what we need to get done and just live in peace and recover. It says the first part of the mansion in the fifth realm is called Alcate, I think. I can actually read my notes. This is great. Okay. So let me see what I've got here. I work in the Akashic Records Conscious Collective recorded data that is gematria quite a bit. So I do find a lot of truth in there, and I'll share some of what I'm finding right now. I'm being asked to reveal that gematria is where it's at. Even though there's so many lies in there, we can rely on the fact that our consciousness is raising and that we are able to use our heart to find the truth and read through the muck and not have to buy into it. And we can get to those gems. Like I was going to say earlier, it's, for every 100 lines, there might be 2 or 3 gems in there, but they're worth getting it. But see, then you're filling your mind with some of that other muck, and it can be very tormenting, but that's dying out too. That's how I know things are changing as well, because the database is cleaning up. These fallen spirits that have been trying to mess with everybody's consciousness are being asked to stop. And they finally are being made to stop at some level. So this is how evil will fade to dust eventually. And that's why we're asked to have patience throughout these processes, because it doesn't necessarily happen in the blink of an eye, like many Christians believe, and they were made to believe. It's not their fault. They were made to believe that this is going to all happen in the flash of an eye. Now, maybe we'll all ascend into the white hole in the flash of an eye down the way. I don't know. I don't have that specific information right now, because I don't think that anybody's really supposed to have that understanding right now. This is part of a process. This is part of an ascension of our soul. This is a reconnection of the soul. And like I spoke of last night, the spirit is just reawakening for many in Saturn. And the spirit is the seed in our heart, in our solar plexus, that is Jesus, and that it awakens and reconnects to the soul, which is a sphere in the parietal lobe of the brain. And we were disconnected from it. So once we start ascending, that is reconnected. That's why people are going through this wild change, just like he spoke of just now about the shining ones. They go through like an alchemical change of the body. And as we know, we're shining, and as we know, people know this was going to happen. There's all of these narratives out there to explain this stuff away, but a lot of those narratives are there so that they could maintain a control. I'm outside of those narratives. I'm also working outside of the circles of time. So some of my stuff, I don't have a clear understanding of everything, but I do have a lot of keys. But I'm told to, bring this to people's attention, make it viral to show the world this is Q. Q is the transformation of a man into an angel of light. That is the process that we're going through. That is why we chose to incarnate here on Earth now, so that we could ascend and reconnect to the soul, which, the soul, our oversoul, our twin flame is God. And it doesn't matter, even some of the fallen spirits, or even some of the ones that were of Adam and Eve, because Adam and Eve came about during the demiurge. They came about when things were already established. Samaria had already happened. The Garden of Eden already existed. They were not the first people on earth. Ainana was the first person on earth. Ainana is the first human being, the first begotten Son, the first Christ. Just so you know. And I speak a lot. I try to give the message to the Lost History channel, and it goes hidden many times. My comments do, to no fault of anybody's but the agenda. And that is that the Sphinx itself is a depiction of the higher being of Ainana. It's it's the Holy Spirit. The Sphinx is Jesus. And, they don't want that out there. They're trying to connect Satan with it. They're trying to connect Satan with the higher realms, because they use God's children to try to work through their consciousness to get to where they want, because they're not cool like that. But, we've got a hold on that. So that's not going to take place. But they very much look for any way that they can maintain control. And they have to realize that their plans have failed at this point, and that their only hope is to start to realize that they, haven't been doing right, maybe get to the point where they feel bad, because when you start to feel bad about something, people are always afraid to face what they've done because they don't want to feel bad. But if you feel bad, you've been forgiven already. And so you call out for the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit's going to come take your hand and guide you through what you need to be guided through, and help you to forget what you need to forget eventually, and things like that. There doesn't have to be any suicide. There doesn't have to be any major hard times. We can all get through this together. And that's the great part about the people that already have ascended into the higher realms. We're willing to take your hand and pull you out of the dark, no matter what you've done, no matter if you've transgressed against us, if you've hated us. We don't care. We want to pull you into the light. We understand it. So, I can only speak for myself, but I know this to be true. And I know this to be true about God. God is love. God is forgiveness. God will pull you out of the darkness into the light. And that's what Q is about. So people have a misinterpretation of what Q is. Q is turning into a Jesus yourself, turning into a king yourself, turning into an angel of light, turning from a man into an angel of light. And that's what time it is. Sabbath is something we should take really seriously. Sabbath is Saturday. It was taken. It is Saturday. We should recognize that. It is for us. Many of these things, the 10 Commandments, that's for us. That is so that we don't get to these points of regret and hurting other people. It's all about the golden rule and treating others the way that you would want to be treated and loving yourself so that you know what that is. Because if you don't love yourself, you don't care how somebody treats you. I'm about to ask these guys to stop beating on the wall for just a few minutes. I really am. Because I don't get to do this very often. Hang on a second. Honestly. I just can't take it. I go through this 8 hours a day. This is what I'm talking about. Stuff like this. You have to wonder. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. Anybody still there? Anybody still there? Well, they're going to be busy beating for a while, so we'll just have to deal with it. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. You guys are awesome. Is everything okay here? Yay. Oh, Chris, QAnon is a BS distraction. I'm telling you what it is, so you don't have to believe it. Like, I'm okay with the people that are, like, coming in and saying they're here to learn, but then, like, wanting to, you know, make impressions. Like, if you're here to learn, then open your mind and your heart, because Q was hijacked, just like everything else good has been hijacked. And there's a lot of disinformation surrounding everything. Okay, so just open your heart and your mind again. That's all. That's all I ask. Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry about the. You guys are funny. Oh my god, I love you guys. Okay, hey Gigi. Yeah, it's all messed up, right? So it's funny. We can laugh about it. That's good. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. See, that's where I've been with a lot of things, and that's how I've learned. Q is a transformation of a man into an angel of light. So, of course, it was hijacked by the false light, the agenda, there's more than one dark agenda. Like, there's the false light, which I would say is the more dangerous one. And we can identify that pretty clearly. But there's a lot of people that still kind of have to follow that stuff because they don't have anywhere else to go. They don't have a platform like this one. Or like, I'm not on here very often because I just am starting to feel really good and strong enough and clear enough on some of these things to really share them. So there's just different reasons why there haven't been more like platforms opened up with real, genuine light. And there's been a lot of people that have been misled down the wrong roads that think that they're doing the right thing, but they're they're teaching the false light, and it's very dangerous. But that's okay. We'll all figure it out by using our heart, by using our enlightened brains that we have. And I'm going to go ahead and go through some of my notes since I have you all here. Just a few of them. And I don't want to be shocking. Some of this stuff can be shocking, and I haven't read through it. I usually like separate it, but I just am just jumping on here. Okay. This was a new one. If Comet Elenin, which is Wormwood, Comet Elenin, which is also the star Sirius, which is also like, there's different stars within the system of Sirius, and there's different aspect of these comets. They emanate in different ways, so it can be very confusing when I say some of these things, but Comet Elenin is a part of this system that we see here that would be considered Wormwood. Now, Wormwood is here to bring the living waters for the healing of the nations. So it is not all bad. It's not here to destroy. God doesn't destroy. As I saw on that channel, the Lost History channel, it does look as if Saturn was the one that brought the flood. And when I went back and I looked at some of Genesis, it was very clear to me that it was Satan, Saturn, Cain, however you want to look at it, that entity that actually wanted to wipe humanity out because it didn't quite turn out the way that he thought. And so a lot of times they want to act as if that's the Holy Spirit that's saying that type of thing. No, that's actually Satan. And I've gotten so many different confirmations that now I'm here bringing these ideas, but I do, Chris. I kind of do lately. I've just been coming out and saying it, and I don't like to do it because I'm not that kind of person. But yeah, and I don't know, I just know what I watch and what I feel. So I could be wrong about things too, but I kind of tend not to think so because I'm led by spirit, so I'm very confident by the time I bring it to you all. So Comet Elenin approaches from either of the poles directions, either directly above or below. It will most likely capture the Earth. So again, emanation, realms being emanated. This is all about a realm emanating from above, here for the good of all people. So that's a positive thing. I was saying earlier, there's some good information in my last stream, so check that out, talking about the poles and how they were inverted and they're going to be brought back to proper working. It's basically like Tiamat, Queen Tiamat came, which is also the same being as Inanna. She incarnated as Inanna. This is her matrix to begin with. The omniverse creation was made by Tiamat, by the Holy Spirit, and got taken by Saturn. And the flooding and all of that stuff, all of the tragedy and all that stuff, that's not going to happen again because the Holy Spirit's back in control. The true God, the primordial creator, that's taking creation back and opening the omniverse back up for creation, for all of her children, for all of us. And so it's all good news, and we're not going to have... Yeah, you guys, my grandmother did pass away, and I just got like a notice, so hold on. Well, I knew she passed away, but I'm just seeing the funeral arrangements. Oh, she's so beautiful. It's so weird to have her gone. Wow. She was 100 years old, so I know she was probably ready to go, but I wanted her to see, we can all reverse in age, and yes, David, thank you for that information. Um, yeah. So, word. Okay, so back to some of these notes. Yeah, but the key of David, the key of the new world is given to, just a few of us. And so we're trying to bring you guys, not you guys, but the ones that are trying to figure out a way and scheme out a way. I spoke about this last night in my live streams. They're trying to figure out a way around it. Well, apparently Elon Musk has spent billions of dollars trying to find a way outside of Jesus to leave the Matrix. But guess what, guys? Jesus is the only way to leave the Matrix, and that's happening through the ones like of us that have woken up, and we can bring the people out of the darkness into the light. And that's, oh, it's okay, thank you, yeah. Yeah, I try to figure, knowing so much about consciousness, which I don't know everything, I bet you guys know more than I do. I'm trying to figure out, where is she? What is outside of the omniverse? And, that's pure spirit outside of the omniverse, and Jesus outside of the omniverse, the great spirit, the true God outside. And, yeah, I'm trying to understand it all, Because if she's not going to stay in this body and reverse in age, and that would be hard to expect after being here for that long and being subject to the Saturn system for so long, which is about decay and death and destruction. It would be hard to imagine somebody at that age being able to really live in bliss. But God can do anything. In this system, God can do anything. So I think that that's where there's a surprise, there's a flash of the eye. But I also see that all of our family members will be coming back at the end, and a God from every religion will be visible. We'll be able to see all of this stuff. That's why the omniverse is amazing. It was made for man, not man for the omniverse. So we're going to see our lost loved ones coming from all dimensions, and it's going to be a big surprise. So things are going to keep gearing up and getting better and better, but I really think that it's all just, there's no time of when and how. It's just as it happens, as it unfolds. That's why there's no dates, there's no time. That's why it's all of us getting on the same page. Will help speed things along. But, if we're not speeding things along yet, that's because there's a whole subset of the population that's not prepared. But some of these people are just not connecting to spirit and not connecting back to the soul. And so, I don't know if that's holding things up. But we're going to see what happens, We're just going to keep seeing what happens. And so the lake of fire is a volcano for serpents. Now, when I say serpents, and I'm not sounding like a very nice thing, these are the fallen serpents, that they have the covenants, the secret covenant that I refer to and that I refer you to on Lucid Queen's channel. She goes over that. I'm going to see which video of it hers is, because she really does cover this better than most. Big Judah just covered it as well. So you can go check out either one. But yeah, let me take you there, because this is important stuff. This is what they do not want people to talk about. And I can't be sorry, They knew that this was coming. But I am here to help anybody out of it. They don't believe that they can be helped out of it. I'm here to help you out of it if you're involved in the secret covenant. So again, that's something that will be happening in the spirit. That doesn't mean that people are going to get thrown into volcanoes. That means that spirits and consciousness are going to be molded and dealt with. And that's why this is happening in the spirit and not in the flesh and blood. Which one was it? She did a really good one a few weeks ago. And we went over some of this stuff. She's an angel. I love her. Found her not too long ago. Well, I found her a while ago. And then she, once in a while, will do this really, really cool stuff where she does like an overnight live stream. And it's just nice. Really like awesome, like minds come. UL, are you here? That's where I met UL. I've met a lot of you guys there. Very cool things that we go over. I've expanded my consciousness in these live streams for sure. It's going to spin because this is a touchy subject here. But if it won't play here, I have another one where it will. I can send you there.
My brain feels calm. Like my brain just did something as you're explaining this to me, because I didn't have. I definitely got to keep in touch with you, and
So we started to go over the secret covenant that she found, and it was just a weird coincidence because it's not something that I had been privy to before this, but that I had been studying about the fallen serpents and actually interacting with them in the fourth dimension through gematria and some other ways.
Make sense. I remember when I was a little girl, I was on a school bus, and we were talking about heaven, and I just couldn't imagine going to another place other than this earth. I'm like, heaven, what's gonna be there? I'd rather be here in this realm. I don't want to go to heaven. I don't want to die. I want to be here.
Because we're experiencing for spirit.
I realize this is fucking
here.
hell. This was hell. I think that's why
Heaven and hell are placed on earth.
the DMT and Jesters laugh at beings. Like some type of beings from the fourth dimension were controlling beings in this dimension.
Yep.
And in the document, it talks about, it has a secret covenant. And this secret covenant details the way that the enemy thinks. The beings that are working against human consciousness, it supposedly is like an oath that they have between themselves about how they're manipulating us. And I was going to do a video on it, but I never uploaded it because I feel like I was rushing it. I was so excited about talking about it that I didn't quite compare some of the things that the document says to actual real life issues. But I'm going to show y'all this document. It's called a secret covenant because a lot of y'all.
Can you hear it all right?
Mention things about them.
Walt, it's funny because you were on that live stream you were on that video the other day asking me about this. This is exactly what you were talking about.
Something for real or like, all right. can get it set up right. Okay. This document is called the Secret Covenant. And I mentioned this, I showed this before. It's like the elite network. And it's like beings from another dimension are really influencing our reality. And it shows how organized these organizations are, this force that's working against human consciousness. And so I went through and looked up, okay, gematria. Yeah, you mentioned gematria to me before, and I looked it up, but I can't remember exactly, so I'm gonna have to look it up again. So this is showing how they're all connected. And as you can see, organized crime, the exempt foundations, the drug companies. I mean, you have to ask yourself, how did so many people become so addicted to opioids? Well, who the fuck gave it to them? And if that, and then also, why would our government approve something like that? I can see that the wizards here do use groups of people in rituals and summons. Yeah. The more people you have, the stronger the ritual. And the thing that's closest to us is the media. And I don't know if you ever heard of a guy named Credo Matwa, but he is a man that has preserved a lot of African history. And he was a part of the Zulu tribes down in South Africa. And he went through apartheid and all that or whatever. But he says that one of the biggest tricks of the mobsters and the elite is to trick the world into them not existing. So but his theory, he's saying that there is an international enemy. It's not just the enemy of American humans. It's not just the enemy of America. There's a worldwide enemy. Oh, Colgates, you know about Credo Matwa? Oh my God. Yes, Credo Matwa. He's one of the first people to talk about reptilians and those reptilian beings that are influencing the human beings. Oh wow. You helped legalize machines in gematria. We're writing laws in the 5th. Oh my gosh, I gotta learn more. I can't lose contact with you. I have to learn more from you, 5th. All right, but the secret covenant. And now it says, this is their secret covenant. An illusion it will be so large, so vast, it will escape their perception. Yes, Colgates, yes. That part freaked me out when he said that because in Colgates, you know what? Oh my gosh, 5th world. Before I could even go through this document, you already said it. Fallen serpents. 5th world, have you ever seen this document before? Colgates, yes, he says that they did something to him and he started becoming attracted to men. Well, before Credo Matwa admitted that, I already thought there was something just really feminine about him. Because even though he's a man, he almost kind of, his presence is almost like a old lady woman, because he's like a little bit thick, he's like bigger, and he's like very comfortable, and just the way his manner is, I thought he was very feminine. And so when he said that, I wasn't surprised. Okay, wait. And I have to learn more from you. Everything you talk about is what I should be focusing on, but I'm always fighting these fallen serpents that you're showing. Fifth world. Yes, so what I is that he's still living. Yeah, I've been checking up on him. He lost a lot of weight. I hope he's okay. Colgate's, a lot of people in Africa are fighting to protect him because he was living in like a cave with his wife in South Africa, but because of apartheid, that they take ownership of the land, and so they disowned him. Like, he didn't have a home. So the people of Africa, of South Africa, was fighting for Credo Matwa and his wife to be able to have a home, because they said he is a part of history, and that is very important for their culture to preserve history. And since Credo Matwa is a part of their history, let him have his cave. So, okay, Miss Fifth World, you said something about fallen serpents, and I'm about to show you
Okay, I'm
something
gonna
real
skip.
quick
Well, no, she's gonna
in
get
this
to some of this
document.
good information, and you can watch this on your own. But I'm just gonna let this play for a little bit, and then come
Just give
back.
me 1 second. I'm about to show you something real quick, this because of what you said.
But this is coming out all over the place, so it's not just me bringing this information out. It's becoming understood, and it's important that we understand how this took place, so that we can help to remedy it, reverse it,
Okay,
help the ones that were
sis,
affected,
look right here.
even the
It
ones that
says
are
them.
involved.
This is them. It says they must never ever find out what we have done, for if they do, we shall have no place to run. For it will be easy to see who we are once the veil has fallen. Our actions will have revealed who we are, and they will hunt us down, and no person shall give us shelter. Okay, wait, that's not it. Wait, sorry. Sorry, that wasn't it. Hold on. Wait, this is crazy because it's in here. Okay. Nope, get back up here. Okay, y'all, hold on 1 second. Now, this is crazy because yes, I have so much to tell you. Yes, you do. You have so much. You do. Because this document. Yes, I remember when you said they don't have a choice but to listen. Yes, I have so much to tell you. Yes.
Okay, I'm
They
skipping
must
through here
never
for a
learn this
second,
truth,
but
for they will turn against us.
here it is.
I don't like to put myself above anything or anyone, but I remember when I told you that they have to listen to you. They left. Told you you were in the 5th dimension. Them archons are mean. I can tell you why, but you'll see for yourself very soon. Yeah, that's how the fallen serpents operate. They steal credit and information and twist it around. You're right. All right, now. If we found out the real truth, people would probably kill themselves. Some couldn't handle it. Yeah, I think the truth is just... All right, now I'm about to read through some of this document.
Here we go. Finally, she's
to
going to read
some of this
through.
document together.
Thank you guys for being patient with me.
All right, this is
But it's
the
good
secret
stuff.
covenant between them. We will use our media to control the flow of information and their sentiment in our favor. They will be helpless to do anything, for they will have no weapons. And y'all see what they trying to do, right? Take the weapons. We will recruit some of their own to carry out our plans. We will promise them eternal life, but eternal life they will never have, for they are not us. The recruits will be called initiates and will be indoctrinated to believe false rites of passage to higher realms. Members of these groups will think they are one with us, never knowing the truth. They must never learn this truth, for they will turn against us. For their work, they will be rewarded with earthly things and great time. Now, this is talking about the people that get into those, what you call it? Secret, stuff like that, or, dang, why the word leaving me? Secret societies. A lot of people get into secret societies because they want rites of passage to higher realms. But what they don't know is they're never going to get it. Yeah, you're right, Colgates. Yeah, secret societies. But see, it's saying that they trick people who get into the secret societies. And that's what a lot of people say about Masons. Like, a lot of people get into Masonry and thinking they're doing something good. They don't realize the higher levels. Unless you're in the higher levels, you don't really know what's going on. And it says, they will never reach higher realms, for the killing of their own kind will prevent passage to the realm of enlightenment. This they will never know. The truth will be hidden in their face so close, they will not be able to focus on it until it's too late. Oh yes, so grand the illusion of freedom will be that they will never know they are our slaves. When all is in place, the reality we have created for them will own them. This reality will be their prison. They will live in self-delusion. I see a lot of delusional people nowadays. When our goal is accomplished, a new era of domination will begin. Their minds will be bound by their beliefs, the beliefs we have created from this, oh my gosh, little thingy. Okay. Okay, but if they ever find out that they are our equal, we shall perish then. This they must never know. If they ever find out they can vanquish us, they will take action. These beings know, guys, that we have power. Just like you said, Fifth. We have the power to shut them off, shut them down. They know this. They're admitting it. They must never ever find out what we have done, for if they do, we shall have no place to run, for it will be easy to see who we are once the veil has fallen. Our actions will have revealed who we are, and they will hunt us down, and no person shall give us shelter. This is the secret covenant by which we shall live the rest of our present and future lives, for this reality will transcend many generations and lifespans. This covenant is sealed by blood, our blood. We the ones, we the ones who from heaven to earth came. Maybe it's that line. That's it. So Fifth, when you said fallen serpents, this is what they said. When you said fallen serpents, that's exactly what made me think of. They said they are the ones who from heaven to earth came. So they fell from heaven to earth. Like Fifth said, these are fallen serpents. They fell from heaven to earth. And Fifth, you said that before I even read the document. That's why I was like, have you read this before? Because they pretty much say that. So you already know who they are. This covenant must never ever be known to exist. It must never ever be written or spoken of, for it is the consciousness it will spawn will release the fury of the prime creator upon us. Listen to what these people fucking say. This covenant must never ever be known to exist. It must never ever be written or spoken of, for if it is, the consciousness it will spawn will release the fury of the prime creator upon us, and we shall be cast to the depths from whence we came and remain there until the end of time of infinity itself. Yes, we did win. We won, Fifth. They know our power. They admit our power right here. If enough people wake up, it's gonna release the fury of the prime creator. We got power. Okay, I'm scrolling up because I missed a lot of comments. That's why the ego exists. No, the truth is beautiful once you know the truth. You're completely out of their control. You ever see the octopus or squids on mushrooms? Maybe I have. I done seen so much stuff on shrooms. No, I don't agree, but that's just me. I've been dealing with this for a long time, and I want nothing but sovereignty and freedom and justice. They do underwater psychedelics. I never heard of that, Tristan. Underwater psychedelics. Okay. Secret Society. I have had to get used to the truth. You are right, but they are censoring everything during this awakening and denying people their process. Yeah, they didn't expect me to make it this far. Secrecy is their only rule. Try to make you think you crazy for thinking that they exist, but they exist. Many are Masons and Satanists. We won. They are afraid of us. Yes. The thing is I've been giving them a chance to ascend with us, and they have done nothing but torment and torture me. So I might have to banish them. They know how to recall and birth and rebirth. Fifth, you seen what they look like? Really can't believe that you're reading this to me right now. I really cannot. This is crazy. Wow, Fifth. I'm so glad you get it. Because you get it. Every carnation they can recall. Wow. I know the humans that they inhabit, they mimic human behavior well. Yes. No, I've been looking for this document. All right, Fifth, I'll send it to you for sure. Um, cause Fifth earlier you said that you were gonna send me your email and that they took it off. So if you want to try and send me your email again, or if you send me a friend request on Facebook or Instagram, I can send you the link. You can send me a message with your email, and I can email you this document. Y'all, I didn't even read a lot of it, but here's some other fucked up shit they say. This is how they move. They move very, very slowly and strategically to make their plan work. It says our goal will be accomplished one drop at a time so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. You know how nature is? If you don't really see the plant growing unless you have a camera on it and you like do a speed video to see. But you don't really notice nature is changing all the time because nature changes so slowly. And this is what they do. They move so slowly so you can barely see what they're doing. We will also stand above the relative field of their experience. Yes, we are going to have to travel and teach. I'm down. I don't have no other purpose. I don't have no other purpose. I can't sit there and pretend to be a part of this stuff that they've created to imprison the minds of humans. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always and will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. Fifth, you just said the only rule that they have is secrecy. This is what they're saying right here. We will work together always and remain bound by blood. Death will come to he who speaks. There's no in my mind that you are an angel, like I said. The very beginning, you are a spirit of God that's here with us right now to free humanity. Wow. That's deep. Probably some of the others here in this chat with us right now, and there's no accidents. You're right. I don't believe in accidents anymore either. You're right. You're right. A lot of people in this chat already really, really woke. Reading that document, you freed me from torment and torture that I've been under from the past several months. Ooh, really? I know as much as you too. I don't know as much as you too. I'm learning. Cole, you've been in here dropping knowledge all night. You don't have to travel no more. You can reach more people by forming a YouTube channel together. Well, the thing is that they've infiltrated the internet. And because they own the internet, they have the power to shut things down that we could do online. And two, we have to be very, very careful. Just like they move in secrecy, we will have to move in secrecy, or at least to the extent where they don't know our next move. That's what I think. But it says, but it's many different ways. Like, we on the internet right now, and we, you know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to do it on the internet. But you know what, Cole, you're right. That's how me and Fifth found each other. That's how we all found each other, is through the internet. So the internet does serve some
So, like, this
purpose
can
and
go
a
on and
good purpose.
on, and it's really interesting. So,
It says,
I don't
we will
mind
keep
it.
their lifespan short and their minds weak while
This is
pretending
important.
to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so they will never see what is happening. We will use soft metals. Oh, I'll get back on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook or Instagram. We will use our soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water, also in the air. So somebody was talking about metals earlier. I think it was you, Fifth. You mentioned the metals earlier, or someone did. But this is them saying that they use soft metals. They will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. And that I cannot deny. The soft metals will cause them to lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from our many fronts, and we will feed them more poisons. Yep, most medicines that we get from the pharmacy do us more harm than by healing us. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths. They will destroy their minds and reproductive systems. And I don't know if y'all noticed that a lot of the grapes and stuff, a lot of the fruits now are seedless. And I think that's another way to affect our reproductive system as well. From all this, their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. The poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds them, in what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We must be ingenious in dispensing the poisons, for they can see far. See, right here, they acknowledge our intelligence.
Violet, I still
They
believe
do
that the
acknowledge that
chemtrails
we are
are
intelligent beings. We must be ingenious in
what they did
dispensing
here
the
in our
poisons,
food
for they can see far. Yes, the fuck we can.
supply
We can see you.
and with fluoride.
We will teach them that the poisons are good, with fun images and musical tones.
Rainbow Angel, yeah,
Those they look up to will
amazing.
help. We will enlist them to push
Everything
our poisons.
we
Exactly. The celebrities that we see
have
and we think that they representing something,
pipe that is made of copper.
where are they pointing us to? Where are the celebrities encouraging us to do? To follow a false dream? To drink bullshit? To eat bullshit? What are the celebrities? Exactly. The celebrities are the people that we look up to. And they're helping them. They're helping their agenda, even if they know it or don't. Some of them don't even know it. We will enlist them to push our poisons. They will see our products being used in film and will grow accustomed to them and will never know their true effect. When they give birth, we will inject poisons into the blood of their children and convince them it's for their help. Exactly.
Bubbles of sentience.
Because when people say that they don't want their child to get immunization shots, they not having that. They not have Narwa, what's up? I haven't seen you in a long time. But let me go back to the comments. Okay, Fifth says she'd barely go on Facebook. Fifth, you ever heard of the contactee named Fleurbron? It's really hypnotizing. That's the only reason untouched organic food is pricey. Yup. I am hidden in dimension protected by God. They couldn't kill me, but they could threaten me every day. Exactly, Tristan. Yes, I do not personally watch her, but I am very aware, yes. Like, how is it that the food that does not need to go through any extra steps to add anything costs more than the food that does? Product placement. Hey, we are highly protected. I'm kind of tripping out because I really did have to banish them earlier today, and I think it might have happened. Is that the Protocols of Zion you're reading from? No, I'm reading this document called The Secret Covenant. And I'm not sure, it could be associated with what you're talking about, the Protocols of Zion. The fallen angel covenant. It says, this is how they say they're going to do our children, though. We will start early on. When their minds are young, we will target their children with what children love most, sweet things. Exactly. Halloween's right around the corner. And it makes you feel good to give the candy to the children, knowing good and well them children don't need that candy. When their teeth decay, we will fill them with metals that will kill their mind and steal their future. Like I said, we was just talking about metals. We was just talking about metals. And twice already this document has mentioned metals. I have been able to put a lot of that to rest with the work that I've been doing for the past several months, but not all of it. And they did try to stop me. What exactly is God, though? You mean the creator of everything? Sounds very much like it. The book is an appendix in Bill Cooper's book, Behold a Pair of Oars. Where y'all from? The higher self, yes, the creator of the matrix. Sacredly, they are dead in Saturn, and you come to life when you transcend to the fifth dimension. I'm in South Carolina. Tristan, I'm in Georgia. So yeah, Narwa, I really love. Oh, Fifth, you're in Florida. I love Florida. But yeah, Narwa, I love Bill Cooper and Behold a Pale Horse. I really do. And I'll have to read it again because you can never read that book just once. Okay, but like I said, they're putting metals. We don't need these metals. Y'all was just talking about metals earlier. Listen to this. Yes, they're gonna use metals against us. When their ability to learn has been affected, we will create medicine that will make them sicker and cause other diseases for which will create more, will create more medicine. Autism is off the meter with these new kids. We will render them docile and weak before us by our power. They will grow depressed, slow, and obese. And when they come to us for help, we will give them more poison. Exactly. When people are depressed, what type of therapy do they give them? You come in and talk. They approve you that they give you antidepressants. They don't ever face what's really going on with you because they are the cause of your depression. They have no help for the depressed. The depressed continue to go on and to be suicidal because there's no real problem. There's no real problem solvers. They're causing the shit, bruh. And they ain't gonna give you the medicine for it like they want to help you. We will focus their attention toward money and material goods. Wasn't y'all just talking earlier about the American dream? We will focus their attention toward money and material goods so I'm pretty sure so they may never connect with their inner self. We will distract them with fornication, external pleasures, and games so they may never be one with the oneness of it all. And that's what the music is doing. It's making people think about sex. Even y'all notice commercials that have nothing to do with sex. They make it sexy. They make everything sexy. Why? Why? Their minds will belong to us. And they will do as we say. Yep, that's why porn is free. If they refuse, we shall find ways to implement mind-altering technology into their lives. Wait, fifth. You was just talking about mind-altering technology. You was just saying it. This is some synchronicity right here. We will use fear as our weapon. We will establish their governments and establish opposites within. We will own both sides. Yes, Democrats and Republicans owned by the same people. Absolutely. We will always hide our objective and carry out our plan. They will perform the labor for us, and we shall prosper from their toil. Our families will never mix with theirs. Our blood must be pure always, for it is the way. We will make them kill each other when it suits us. We will keep them separated from the oneness by dogma and religion. We will control all aspects of their lives and tell them what to think and how. We will guide them kindly and gently, letting them think they are guiding themselves. The hate will, I'm skipping a little part because this is long. The hate will blind them totally, and never shall they see that from their conflicts we emerge as their rulers. They will be busy killing each other. Yep, so they use the old tactic divide and conquer. And it's crazy because we learned about divide and conquer, but yet we so blind to it happening right before us. They will bathe in their own blood and kill their neighbors for as long as we see fit. We will benefit greatly from this, for they will not see us. They cannot see us. But like I said, they do make it a point to. Anybody wants that document? Let me know. I'll send it to you.
Yep, so if you want some further, she does go on for a little bit longer, and I do recommend.
The tactics of the enemy.
Let's see.
Also be able to understand the psychology of the enemy. How they lack sincerity and compassion for the human race.
Yeah.
It's up to humans to be
I'm going to go to another channel that I want you to follow up with, and how this ties into scripture, how this ties into the beings.
In Chicago. I lived in Chicago, South Side. I'm cool. I feel that more. What number street? 43rd and 119 Lithium. Also, Harvey, you real life.
I don't really know what this is all about. Hang on, guys. I don't usually search on my computer, so this is new. Well, it's this channel here. You can get to his channel.
Good evening, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, I'll give all praises to the
And his latest few videos have been really on point. And, whoops. This one right here ties into what we're...
And vanquish for them the powers of materiality and death.
Today. And so if you want to kind of see how this ties in to some of the lost books and the Gnostic books, lost scripture, he really does break it down quite well.
Using the Bible. As we come to these last days, the Most High is revealing so much information because he's exposing the fact that you cannot just use one book. The Most High is not that simple. The people that have limited our people's understanding, limited their chance to research and learn and grow, have been the priests of Mahan, the priests of Cain. How anyone at this point can
yeah, it's great.
can
This
limit
channel is so good. I just found it myself a couple of months ago.
And only thinking there's only one way of figuring things out.
Together.
At this point is beyond me. I have no understanding as to how anyone can do that at this point. The Most High is bringing out so much information, so much confirmation. And that this means that people are very comfortable and the Most High is just not allowing them to see anything else. Now we've learned, in the last video, how Cain made a covenant with Satan. And one huge part of the covenant was to keep the knowledge of these priests of Mahan and their doings and how things have been working behind closed doors a secret from the children of the Most High. Now, understanding the fact that this is all part of the covenant, them hiding information, keeping things away from us, keeping things away from the chosen seed, then how in the world can you
Oh, yes.
now looking back, how can you justify them getting our records, hiding our records, telling us what we can and can't read, when their whole purpose has been to keep us from knowledge and understanding of the Most High? Their whole purpose has been set up to keep us away from our rightful place as the true priesthood of the Most High. And let's read that real quick. Here from the sealed Book of Mormon. Now, if people want to say, well, this isn't true, this isn't in the Bible, well, what you have to do is you look at this information and then you compare it to what has actually happened. Have these events actually happened? That's why I'm sure the Most High kept this stuff secret, so that then when he did reveal it here at the end, all you have to do now is look back into history, and you'll realize that all this information is true. Let's look at verse 48 real quick.
We'll listen to one verse.
And it happened then that Satan swore loyalty to Cain, just as Cain swore by his own life that neither he nor his brethren, who would rise after him in the priesthood order proposed by Satan, would reveal the secrets of this order to the righteous sons of Adam. So that's a huge part of the covenant, keeping all this information a secret. Now understand, these priests of Mahan, this church of Cain, has been responsible now for setting up which books you could read. They were the ones that set up the canonization of the 80 books. They're the ones that have been taking away information. They're the ones that were brought here. From Columbus, the Spaniards were brought over here. They're the ones who burned all of our books when they got here. They're the ones that hid all the information. They're the ones that hid our identity. These are the ones that are responsible for calling us colored, Negroes, African Americans, niggas, whatever, anything they want to call us. These are the ones that have been responsible for hiding all this information, because that was all part of the covenant that Cain made.
You see where this is headed, and if you're interested, I'll give you this link as well.
But still,
but yeah, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot to kind of digest, a lot to think about for now, and it helps put pieces together. What my message is that we're overcoming all of that, whether we knew this or not. I mean, it's like we knew it, but we never had the confirmation, but we just walked through it with faith anyway. And many of us are to the point that we've actually not only overcome it, but now we are immune, and we are higher than those beings that were immortal, that were afraid of being banished, because they knew that once we rose, that they would not be able to keep this type of lifestyle up for centuries. This has been going on for a long time, for thousands of years, and we have surpassed that point. It is time that we come together. The great thing about it, and the way that the Most High does work, is that we are here with love to pull as many of the dark, that are in the dark, out of the dark and into the light, and that we can help them overcome as well. And that, yes, there have been many that have been lying to us knowingly, that are also in the dark, and that have also been lied to. And this will show them. They will know, once they understand these things, that this is what's taking place. And my message to them is that just about anything can be forgiven, and you are a child of the Most High as well. And, you know, we want you to come into the new world as well. So that's where we're at with it today. And I'm really glad you guys were here. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really awesome. And I don't know how far behind this is. Let me see here. Yeah, I just appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. And I think that I'll do this more often. Anytime something comes up, you know, I've been able to pull it together enough and get my schedule cleared up enough to take the time to do this. So very cool. Everything's in divine order. And if you haven't had a chance, see the video that I showed before this one. It was really cool. And I've been watching the sky for a while now, the sky, for over a year and a half, and documenting it. And of all of the things that I captured, this one particular day was just off the chain. And I came across the video today, and that's what brought me on to show it to you before this live stream. So I'll have that video linked. I'll have all the links that you need. Come back later if you're interested in going back over it. And do share this information with, you know, like-minded people. And leave any questions below. I'm not going to take any abuse below. I don't consider me taking off abusive, and I can see right through it. So you have a profile set up to mock me and to make me feel bad about myself, then clearly you're not here for the betterment of humanity. And that's what I'm about. So I'll just remove it, and I'll remove you, and I don't consider that censorship. I consider that self-preservation, and we kind of have to be in the quote-unquote business of self-preservation, considering what we've been up against for generations and what we're coming out of. And so please do understand that, you know, we are not going to be taking any more abuse. That time is over. The torment is ended. So we're moving on to bigger, better, more amazing things. And if you'd like to be a part of that, we're here for you. All right, you all. So, oh, cool. I can't wait. That's awesome. Yeah, ignore the haters. Aw, what kind of doggy? Shining One's video, wasn't that great? Yeah, I'll link that. Thank you for reminding me. And yeah, see, I feel strong now, but it was just part of my personal ascension process. And I don't think anybody else should have to go through the levels of it that I have. And I don't expect that anybody will, but I know there's other people that have. And so I cannot wait to come together with all of you. Let's just keep coming together and share this with, you know, groups that you know that might be interested in this type of thing. And that's the best that we can do for now. It'll grow as it's supposed to. And it's not a race. It's not a competition. We are there already. That's the good news. And we'll continue to get there more and more. Oh, very cool, Malibu. I'm so hurt. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Yeah, this is a first for me. I've never really lost anybody this close. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. You're awesome, Malibu. Pam, going on a year. Okay, so the light body transformation. It is it does have something to do with the proteins and the prions and just the repair of all these things that we are overcoming. We are supernaturally overcoming these things because of the star system that has come into our orbit and things like this, and many other reasons. You know, the sun is becoming 7 times brighter, but not in a scary bad way, in a beautiful way. I definitely sun gaze a little bit here and there. I do so many random things, but more than anything, I listen to my intuition, and that always guides me, always, to what I need, you know, or we're brought the substance, like the supplement that we need is brought to our attention, or somehow we come across it on sale, you know, at the vitamin store or whatever it might be. I will say something that was really working good for me, that's worked for me throughout this process for anxiety and for the repair of the body, is magnesium oil spray. This one I have in my hand happens to have arnica, peppermint oil, and eucalyptus oil. You can get it without that stuff, but this I got on sale. It was like $20 a bottle, but this is my second bottle I've gotten for like $4. And man, this stuff really, really makes you feel better. Something about it. I used to use it on my neck when I was going through that neck part where I was telling you the kiss from God during the marriage of, you know, this is a soulmate thing. This is what the soulmate truly is. This is what it is to be the 2 witnesses. Now, yes, there was apparently only like 1 that was a 2 witnesses, but now that's opening up, and we are all going through our own process, and literally we're getting married to our higher source. We are getting married to spirit, becoming one with God. So that is all very real. It is all really, really happening. And so it is not a race, and it does take time. But I think that some of us that have gone first, we're taking the brunt of it. So you've been going through it for a year, Pam. I know you've gone through some really tough times, and you've used faith to get through it. So keep doing that, and expect for things to really wrap up and start getting better and better, just like they have for me. And yeah, iodine, sea kelp iodine is great. Essential oils are amazing. There's some weird stuff about using them internally. I had instructions from my alternative medicine doctor to go ahead and ingest them. I'm not a health professional, but I believe that I am a medicine woman, and I am here for anybody. My email address is arielliberty@protonmail.com, and I will help to guide you through by letting you know what worked for me, or what intuitively comes to me that might work for a certain set of symptoms that you might be experiencing. You know, I'll let you know what worked for me, or if anything comes through. But yeah, I'm not like a medical professional, but I don't think that matters going into the new world. We're getting back to the truth. We see what we were up against. We're not up against that anymore. We are free. We are bought and paid for and set free by the Holy Spirit, who is, in fact, Jesus, the first begotten Son. You know, and it's all tied together, as above, so below, and we're all becoming little Jesuses one by one. Christ consciousness, and we are also getting our eternal bodies. So once we are one with God, it's like you don't have to be afraid that you're going to live forever if you don't want to. We then understand, you know, then we can go any direction that we sovereignly, personally decide. And the possibilities are literally open wide and endless. Black seed oil is so good. Oh, Maria, you're so amazing. So glad you're still here with me. Yeah, it makes you itch, Mary. It definitely does, no doubt. It can be itchy. Salt baths are great because of the electrical nature of our body, and because we're releasing some of that magnetic hold that we had within our bodies and around us as we see this entire system changing. Salt You can take, I've even, like, when I had headaches, I would take a little bit of chlorophyll drops with Celtic salt, like chew it up or suck on it or whatever, just, not a lot, but enough to kind of reset the body. And or a foot bath or an entire salt bath is really, like Mary said, the best thing you can do. And it really helps. Black seed oil, CBD, any form of flower marijuana. I do read messages all the time that it is meant to be eaten, ingested, but, I smoked it for a long time, and I don't believe that it's a harmful substance to smoke, but, I actually don't smoke as of recently. I just stopped needing it. So now I'll take CBD once in a while, or I'll eat a flower here and there if I'm feeling like it. And I do like the effects a little bit better than the instant overwhelmingness that I used to get with smoking. Even though I did for years and years, that's just where I'm at with it now, ever evolving. And pink Himalayan, yep, Celtic salt, pink Himalayan. It's all about getting those minerals that we have had stripped from our body, because we are very highly advanced biological beings that were built with, we're amazing. God is amazing. It's truly, it's so mind-blowing once you realize how things work. It's a roller coaster. You're going to go up and down and up and down, and I know many of you are on this journey with me, and some of you have helped pull me back into whatever reality is, but it can be very, very overwhelmingly scary to have our childhood programming come up against with something completely different. Like, it just does something to the mind. And I believe that's what was spoken about, where people's minds and hearts would fail them. Well, like that we'll be confounded, and that, we just won't be able to handle it and we'll go nuts. No, that passes. You walk through that with faith, and it always passes, and it doesn't take long to pass. And that is where I think that we find the beauty of God at working in our own life and with us, and how we build a personal relationship with God, with Jesus, with, the Heavenly Father. It's just amazing. So, interesting, human. That's a good idea. I don't go to the beach nearly enough. Yep, I take kratom as well, Chris. Thank you for bringing that up. I do take kratom. That has helped me get through some of the uncomfortability and the pain that can be associated with this transformation. Magnesium is another thing that I use for the pain, but absolutely. Also, kava. I'm lucky enough to live in a place that serves kava and kratom at different tea bars. And so I just kind of was introduced to it, and it was always available. So I know that you can order it. There's some different sources. If somebody needs something, I do have friends I can refer you to. Email me, and I'll suggest, some things to you. But all of these things were made to seem dangerous. Of course, you have to use your own intuition, but nothing's as dangerous as the pharmaceutical industry has become. And now there are good drugs that, have been tried and true. I think that most all of them have things that they could do without, different like soft metals, this, that, or the other. But always, if there's something that you need and you feel trustful about it, you just have to trust your own intuition with everything. And I think doctors are kind of turning a new page, and that they're starting to open up to some of the alternative methods, and they're going to tell you that you have to use your intuition. Most of them won't suggest it because they just literally can't. But yeah, it's all changing for the better. No, I wouldn't go that far, Mary, unless you have the means to do that. Well, I think that we eventually overcome those sensitivities, Mary. I really do. We're made out of different metals. We just got inundated with the ones that didn't work with our systems, and that's what's leaving. Like iron was a big one. I'm taking trace minerals, which has lithium and has different things. And then I'll link below another study that we did here live together a couple of months ago, where we really found out that naturally occurring lithium and these trace minerals that you find in things like ormus or in, the different elements, monoatomic elements, they're necessary for our systems, and we've been stripped of them. And that is one reason why we don't feel good and that we're not immune to things. So I went through a period where I was very chemically sensitive and sensitive to things like, probably the metals in my mouth. I am immune to all of that stuff now. We go through these periods where we become sensitive, but especially in a place, instead of like getting back into the opiates or whatever. It is an opioid. It works on the brain similar to an opiate, but it's not nearly as addicting and not harmful. And it's got antioxidants. So yeah, I am a big, I believe kratom is a great alternative for people, because how are you going to tell people to just get off of all pharmaceuticals when they're in so much discomfort? So that's my solution, one of my solutions to overcome some of that adjustment, the adjustment period. And as far as the sensitivity to the different elements, I believe that you will overcome it. You think Hi Cats Go Nuts? Oh, nice to have you here. Nice, Jessica T. Is that one of the natural ones? Because I know the pharmaceuticalized one is pretty dangerous, so I wouldn't recommend that. But I think that the naturally occurring one, I take it every few days, and I'll tell you what, I turned a huge corner after I started taking ormus, and then I started taking copper. And I remember when I first thought I had what was deemed Morgellons. Come to find out, it's just the light body process, but it works with your consciousness. So if you get scared and you start freaking out and you start thinking it's, something it's not, it's going to act that way, and you actually get what you're thinking. I mean, it's really a big lesson in how much we are creating as we go. And the thing is the people that give those narratives might not understand that. So that's why I'm always trying to let people know, but you do see where that narrative isn't out there as much. It's still out there, but they've changed the way that they put that information out. So I still try to catch it and give the truth wherever I can. But the process ends. All of that stuff stopped for me. I don't have fibers flying around. I don't have sores. And then come to find out, with everything going on with my family, I have a family member here who actually told me that a couple of months ago she broke out in a rash everywhere, and she was just horrified. She didn't even want to tell me, and she's terrified that it would happen again. And I was able to give her the information. And I'll tell you, once you really, I found T. Taylor's information, and once overnight I healed, knowing that it wasn't what I was being told. It's I knew it, but I kept staying up all night and researching it, and only finding the scariest stuff ever, and just getting deeper and deeper with it. That's all mind control, and it is designed to, not do good things for you. So once you realize, like I did when I found T. Taylor, when you realize that this is not this horrible thing, that it is actually you receiving your glorified body, you receiving your light body. When you realize that, it is so healing to know that. And then we have to undo all of that new programming. That is the artificial intelligence that is the mark of the beast. That type of information right there is the mark of the beast. And willingly accepting it is not listening to your information, not continuing to seek until you find truth, like all of us do here. We seek until we find truth. you know, and that's why we aren't inundated with false information in our mind's eye. That is why our mind's eye is opening naturally into Jupiter realm, into new realms, the omniverse, that the way it was supposed to be. And now, guess what? We get to experience it with a healthy body and one with God. So, hey, it's worth the wait. So just keep on going and keep trusting, keep the faith, and we're all going to get there together. Yeah, it's coming out of everyone, right? And, you know, people didn't know if it was like chemtrails, this, that, or the other. I personally think that there has been gold dust sprayed in our into our system benevolently. And of course they've tried to stop this, but there are different planes that are orbs that I think are angels, and they're not the fallen ones, that have sprayed, that have terraformed this earth to get us back to where we should be, so that our systems released all of the things that we didn't need, removed the iron. Our bodies are squeezing the gray matter from ourselves. I mean, we are 50-50. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all of that part right now, but I do get into it on some of my past videos. And I put some new playlists together, so check those out. Some of my older stuff where I do talk about this stuff, and all of it still is still true. So I've just been able to understand it much more clearly for myself, and maybe explain it a little better. But yeah, it's really good stuff. Yeah, tramadol. Well, if you feel comfortable, look into something like kratom if you'd rather. I do know that, you know, I take it every day, and, you know, I don't know if I had to stop, you know, I would go through a few days of discomfort, because it does have a reaction on your body. So it can be, I guess, considered addictive. But as far as physiologically and mentally, emotionally, it doesn't have the same effects that an opiate does on your mind, your body, or your soul. It's natural and it's great. Another one I think I should mention is moringa. That's a really good superfood that I've tried that made me feel really good, that I'm actually going to reorder. Sorry, just getting a message. Yeah, but I've been on here for a while, and I do want people to get this information. So any other, let me see, did I miss any questions? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the opposite of what we learned, but yeah, honestly, exactly, Valerie. You have such great, we really do have some of the similar information. Yes, and we transmuted some of it as well, but you know, maybe that was the war in heaven. Maybe there was good and bad, but I believe that we've gotten it to where it's nothing bad. And I don't see them. And I hear that they're cleaned up everywhere, and I believe that's because we've all risen consciously. They're not necessary anymore. We've risen. We can see what's going on. What info? Just like our human bodies, and the fact that we're 50% reptilian and 50% Nordic, and that some of that was adjusted even more when the demiurge came about, and Satan added and subtracted things like iron in the consciousness that just didn't help humanity as a whole, and then tried to upkeep it with, you know, things in the food. And so, but yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yep, they take good care around us and communicate telepathically. Yep, most of the information that comes through is probably channeled. A lot of it is, you know, and some of it I've been able to really understand for myself. But sometimes I go back and listen, and I'm like, oh, okay. I learn from listening to myself. But I do channel the Holy Spirit. So it's good stuff. Can't go wrong. Jessica, love you. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you, Malibu Messiah. You guys are all amazing. I'm going to go back through and see what you said. And Chris, I'm glad you were here. Thank you for hanging out. Yep, moringa. Yep, spirulina, any of the greens. Yeah, so helpful. And it can be weird stuff, but I'll tell you, if you ever feel like emailing me and saying, I don't know, I'm scared, please do, because I felt that way many times. And you're going to live all the way through it, and you're going to be better for it. And no, the body isn't the way that we were told, so it is very alarming at times when you get new sensations and when things are just so out there that you... But, just remember, we are spirit experiencing as humans, and it's really, really incredible. Creation is amazing, especially when love is involved. And that's what we're coming back to. It is a return to love, and we're all coming back to it. I've seen some surreal shit too, right? No doubt. Yeah, I'm going to get in some rays too. Good call, Violet. Love you guys so much. I'll see you all soon. I really appreciate you being here. We'll see you guys really soon. Email me with any questions and leave me comments below. Peace and love.